through the window. I was just about to get up from my chair when an older man at the next table stood up, walked over to me, and told me the truth about her boss. She stepped outside the second time, and I knew. I don't know how I knew. I just did. The first time she went out, 15 minutes earlier, she'd squeezed my hand and said it was work, a problem with a booking. I believed her. The second time, she didn't even touch my hand. She just slid the phone off the table and walked toward the door without looking back. I turned in my chair. The hostess stand was right there, and past it the front window, and past the window the parking lot. She was already across it. I watched her stop next to a black SUV near the back. The driver's window came down. A man's arm came out. She leaned in, and he leaned out, and they kissed the way people kiss when they've been doing it for a long time. Not careful. Not new. Familiar. That was the part that hit me. Not the kiss. The way she did it. I stood up. The chair scraped behind me. I didn't have a plan. I was going to walk out there and say her name and his name out loud, in front of the valet and anybody else who wanted to listen. A man at the next table stood up at the same time I did. He was older than me, maybe 60. He didn't ask permission. He just stepped between me and the door and said it quiet. His name is Graham Alstead, he said. He owns the hotel where she works. I know because he did the same thing to my wife 3 years ago. You've got 2 minutes to decide whether you want to do this in the parking lot or do it right. I looked at him. I looked past him at the window. Dylan was still out there. Sit down for 1 minute, he said. 1. Then go do whatever you want. I sat. I don't know why. Maybe because his voice didn't shake. Maybe because the name landed too clean. Graham, the boss she'd talked about for 6 years like he was a piece of furniture. He sat across from me in Dylan's chair. He didn't take his coat off. Timon Bell, he said. There were 4 women before yours that I know about. He picks an assistant manager every 2-3 years. Same play every time. When she asks him to leave his wife, he stops answering. Then he hires the next one. My wife was number 3. I asked him how he knew tonight was tonight. I didn't, he said. An old friend tends bar at the Hawthorne. He saw the 2 of them in Graham's car a week ago after closing. He recognized your wife. He called me Tuesday. I've been having dinner here every night since. He pulled a business card out of his jacket and wrote a phone number on the back of it. Sarah Minter, he said. Tucson. Number 4. She'll talk. The other 3 won't. Call her Monday morning and you'll know everything you need to know. After that, it's your call. He stood up. He buttoned his coat. One more thing, he said. Don't do it tonight. Do it cold. Cold hurts him more. He walked out the side door before I could thank him or ask him another thing. I sat there with the card in my hand and watched Dylan come back across the parking lot. She was smoothing her hair with one hand and putting her phone back in her purse with the other. She sat down across from me. She picked up her wine glass and took a sip and gave me that small private smile I'd been seeing for 23 years. Sorry, she said. Bridal party in the morning. They keep changing their minds. I looked at her. I really looked. And I understood, in the way you understand something all at once, that I had been looking at a stranger for I didn't know how long. I signaled the waiter. I asked for the check. She blinked. We didn't get dessert, she said. I'm tired, I said. I drove her home. She talked the whole way about the bridal party that didn't exist. I made the sounds you make. My hands were steady on the wheel, and the card was in my shirt pocket against my chest. In the driveway, I told her I had a flight at 6. Atlanta, client thing, came up that afternoon. She didn't blink. She'd stopped checking my schedule a long time ago, and now I knew why. I told her I'd sleep in the guest room, so I wouldn't wake her at 4. Sleep wasn't coming. After about an hour, I got up and packed a bag in the dark. The hallway was quiet when I went down to the kitchen at 3 in the morning. Her purse was on the counter where she'd dropped it. I pulled out her phone. The text to Graham went back 14 months. I scrolled. I didn't read them. I just watched the dates run by like a slot machine. Anniversaries. Birthdays. Christmas Eve. The night her mother went into the hospital. Every one of those days had a message to him on it. The phone went back exactly where it was. I left at 4. An hour north, I checked into a motel off the highway and waited for Monday. No calls. No sitting in the dark. Work kept me upright. Laptop on the desk. Phone on the bed. 2 deals closed by the end of the week and a third I almost lost. The diner across the lot did all my meals. Eggs in the morning, meatloaf at night. Cold hurts him more. The man was right. Monday morning at 9, I called Sarah Minter. She picked up on the second ring like she'd been waiting. Her voice was tired the way people sound when they've already had this conversation in their head 100 times. Timon told me, she said. Ask me whatever you need. I asked how long. 8 months, she said. I asked how it ended. She said she'd asked him to leave his wife, and the next morning he wouldn't answer her calls, and the morning after that her key card to the back office didn't work anymore. She walked out with her purse and never went back. Then she started telling me things I already knew. The perfume he bought, Le Labo, Santal 33, in the cream-colored box. Dylan had 2 of those bottles on her dresser. I thought she bought them. The conferences in Charlottesville every 6 weeks where he kept a 1-bedroom. Dylan had been to 4 this year. The Thursdays he stayed late. Dylan had been coming home after 11 on Thursdays for the better part of a year. The line about his marriage being over in everything but paperwork. Dylan had quoted that one back to me 4 months ago when I asked her why she felt so far away. I thanked Sarah. I asked her one more thing. Would she put it in writing if I needed her to? I already did, she said. 3 years ago. It's in a file. You want it, it's yours. I gave her my email. She sent it in 20 minutes. By noon I was sitting across from a lawyer my brother had used in his own divorce. By 4 the petition was drafted and signed. He filed it first thing Tuesday morning, while I was driving home. Tuesday morning at 6 I drove home. She was at the kitchen counter in her robe, pouring coffee. She looked up when the door opened and her face did that quick thing. Surprise. Then something softer she pulled over the top. You're back early. The bag went down by the door. At the island, I pulled a folded sheet of paper out of my jacket and laid it flat on the granite between us. For names. For cities. Dates next to each. Sarah Minter's number written across the top in block letters. I'd printed it the night before in the motel. She looked at it. She didn't pick it up. Her hand stayed on the coffee pot, and her knuckles went white around the handle. Wes, she said. You're not the first, I said. You're the 5th I know about. The number on top is Sarah. She was 8 months. He stopped answering her calls when she asked him to leave his wife. Same with the 3 before her. She set the coffee pot down. Her mouth opened. It's not like that, she said. He's leaving her. He told me. He told all of them that. I said. Call Sarah. Wes, please, she started. Petition was filed this morning, I said. Papers will be at the door this week. The house is in my name. The accounts are frozen. You can keep what's in your purse. I picked up the bag. She said my name once more. I didn't turn around. Drove to the office, sat at my desk, and answered emails for 2 hours like it was any Tuesday. Her sister called the cell around 11. Let it go to voicemail. Dylan called from her own phone around noon. Let that go too. At 1 I called Timon. I need a favor, I said. His wife. I want 15 minutes. He was quiet for a second. Her name is Caitlin, he said. She's at Riley Marsh downtown. 20th floor. I'll call her this afternoon. She'll see you Wednesday or Thursday. Don't bring a lawyer. Don't bring me. Bring the page. I asked him why he was helping me. I'm not helping you, he said. I'm helping her. 3 years ago somebody could have done this for my wife and didn't. I'm just the guy who sits in the restaurant now. He hung up. That afternoon Dylan came to my office. The receptionist called up. I told her to send Dylan back. She walked in and shut the door and stood there with her coat still on. She'd been crying. Not the polite kind. I called Sarah, she said. I know, I said. You don't understand what it was like, she said. He said, Dylan. I waited until she looked at me. I don't want to hear what he said. Go home. Pack what's yours. Be out by Friday. She left. Wednesday at 3, I rode the elevator up 20 floors of a glass building downtown, and a young woman in a dark suit walked me back to a corner office. Caitlin was already standing when I came in. Younger than I expected. Wedding band still on. She didn't smile. She didn't pretend to. Timon told me what this is, she said. Sit down. I sat. I put the page on her desk. Same 4 names. Same number on top. Same one I'd put in front of Dylan the day before. Your husband is with my wife, I said. The 4 names above hers are the women before her, going back 15 years. The number at the top is Sarah Minter in Tucson. She has a written statement from 3 years ago. She'll send it to you tonight if you ask. Caitlin picked the page up. She read it. Her hand was steady, but her jaw wasn't. 15 years, she said. It wasn't a question. That's what I'm told, I said. She set the page down and looked out the window for a long moment. When she looked back, her eyes were dry and very clear. Can I ask you something? She said. Yes. Why did you come to me? She said. You could have just walked away. I thought about it. Because he's not going to stop, I said. And my wife wasn't the first one he lied to about you. She nodded once. She picked up her phone. Thank you for coming, she said. I was at the elevator before her assistant caught up to me to validate parking. By Friday, Caitlin had filed. By the next Monday, word had moved through the Chamber of Commerce the way that kind of word always moves. Quiet, fast, and through the wives first. By Wednesday, her firm had pulled 3 of the Hawthorne's biggest corporate accounts. They were her clients. She'd brought them in herself when she married him. Dylan moved out Friday like I told her to. She went to her sister's in Greensboro. She left me a note on the counter. I didn't read it. I put it in a drawer. 2 weeks in, my lawyer called. Dylan wasn't going to fight. She'd signed everything. The house, the accounts, the retirement, all mine. He said he'd never seen one go that clean that fast. Her lawyer had told her she had a fight on her hands if she wanted one. 23 years, the house, the retirement, all of it was on the table for a real division. She told him she was done fighting. She signed what was put in front of her and went back to her sister's. My lawyer said it was the cleanest he'd seen in 30 years. I told him I knew why. A month after that, I got a letter in the mail. No return address. 2 lines, on heavy cream paper. He would have had another year of me if you hadn't come. I won't forget it. K. I read it twice. I put it in the drawer with Dylan's note. Then I took Dylan's note out and threw it away. The cream paper I kept. Tom and I called once, around the same time, to say thank you. He cut me off after about a sentence. Told me to do the same thing for somebody else if I ever got the chance, and not to call him about it again. I respected it. I haven't called. 5 months later, on a Saturday morning, I was driving to the office to close out a project. My usual route went past the Hawthorne Inn. I'd been taking the long way around for months. That morning I didn't. The building was the same beautiful old brick. The banner across the front gate was new. For sale. Commercial property. A realtor's name in red. The parking lot was almost empty. Graham was standing at the side entrance. Same dark jacket from the night through the restaurant window. Thinner. Hair longer. He was talking to a guy with a clipboard, and his hands were moving the way a man's hands move when he's explaining why a number isn't fair. The turn into the lot came without thinking about it. I parked 2 spaces from him and got out. He saw me when I shut the door. His face went through 3 things in about 2 seconds. Caitlin had probably shown him my photo by then. Or Dylan had. Either way, he knew exactly who I was, and we'd never met. I walked up. The realtor took a step back. You don't know me? I said. My wife was your last assistant. My name was on the page my wife brought home, and the page your wife read in her office. I came to tell you something. He didn't speak. There were 4 of them before mine. You won't get another one. Your wife knows. The bank knows. Every client you had knows. You did this. Not me. Turned around. Got back in the car. Pulled out at the speed limit. Did not look back, not once. Drove the rest of the way to the office. Sat down and closed out the project. Around noon, I locked up and drove home. The house was quiet. It had been quiet for 5 months, and it was going to keep being quiet, and that was fine with me. The kitchen had been repainted in October. New tile had gone down in the front hall in November. The master bedroom was mine again from the first week she left, and the second pillow had been gone since the second week. That afternoon, I called my brother and told him I'd take him up on the fishing trip he'd been asking me about since spring. He laughed and said it was about time. We booked it for the next weekend. 3 days on a lake in Tennessee, his cabin, his boat, his beer. I hung up. I stood in the kitchen for about a minute and looked at the room. Then I